Hi there. I hope you're having a good day. And you may be wondering why I'm recording this video, right? I'm recording this video just because I want you to get to know me better and also I want to have good grades, but never mind it for now. And I believe the best way you to get to know me is just sharing a memory. But even before I start, what was the most unexpected journey in your life? Like it may be a vacation with a friend, it may be a spontaneous camping trip, whatever it is. I bet it was cool. But for me, it was a journey that started with a phone call that changed all of my plans, all of my expectations, even my life. And that phone call caused me to fly over 6,000 miles. Like wow, like it was like 12-hour flight. But what happened, right? Like, who called me? American President LeBron James. Whatever it is, who called me? None of them happened. So today I'm gonna walk you through what happened, how I felt, how stressful I was. And yeah, and finally I'm hoping you will get to know me better. Then let's start. Okay, like every story starts. It was a normal day. I was at a cafe with my friends and I was sharing like how excited I am because I was selected for an exchange program in States and it was a huge deal for me. And the bigger deal was my favorite football team was about to be champion in the league. Like wow, yeah, it's definitely a bigger deal though. And it's not soccer, it's football. Anywho. And while we were talking, I received this like mysterious call. Even I didn't know the area code. I thought like it was a scam call or something. And I reject the phone. I just put it on the table. And like in 30 seconds, they called me back. So here's a cultural thing about Turkey. If someone is calling you like more than once in a minute, like something serious is happening. Like even though they are scammers, they are not gonna call you back. It's like cultural thing, like someone's dying or something is happening. And I pick up the phone, I answer the phone, and it was the agent I was working with, and they told me that hey Brock, there's a like visa related issue about your visa. Like I was like, what's going on? So before I started, I was gonna get a J1 visa for the my exchange program, and J1 visa is a visa that required for the exchange students, and there are a couple of rules for that. Like you have to be you have to be younger than 18 and a half years, I believe. Yeah, it should be like that. And I didn't know that because no one told me to. So they called me and they said, hey Brock, you cannot enter the States if you're over 18 and a half years old, and tomorrow we are going to be. And I was kind of like, so? And they told me like, if I don't go tomorrow to the States, I'm not getting in. I was like, well, what's going on right here? I was like, I called my father, I called my mom. I was freaking out. Like, there's a related issue. I'm gonna be like too old to get into States. And I went to home. My friends came with me. Like, I had like two of my friends with me, I believe. We packaged my like luggage, and my father booked me a flight for like tomorrow as soon as possible. So I was living at Eskişehir. Eskişehir is a small town in the middle of the Turkey. And if you wanna go to States, you need to go Istanbul. And it's like 3 or 4 hours drive away from the town. So we had to drive, but another problem was our car was being repaired. So we didn't have a car. So what we ended up was I got my friend's car, thankfully, and we started to go Istanbul with my family. And I swear to God, I was freaking out so bad. I was cramping in the car. My mother was crying. My brother was, bye bye, I will get your room, whatever. And so my father had to get to like this earliest ticket ever. So as soon as we arrived at the airport, we were late like maybe 10 minutes for the flight. So we talked to security, we explained everything, and they show compassion for me, and they they helped me a lot, and I was able to get into my plane. Even I couldn't hug my mom, my father. I couldn't say bye for anybody. Even my most of the friends didn't know I was going to States. Like this night, I was flying. So I get into flight. I was cramping so bad. I was stressful. Like it was like you see the all of memories you have in a moment. It was like that moment at that point. So I had to first fly to Germany. So of course my luck. While I was flying to Germany, there were issues with the plane. So we had to take down to the another city in Germany. Probably I was supposed to go Munich, and I went Frankfurt, I believe. So there were like distance between those cities, and I talked to airport staff. By the way, I did not know any English at all. Any. The only thing I was knowing, hey, I am Burak. I'm 18 years old, and that's it. No nothing, no English ever. I was trying to talk with translate, and Germans are kinda mean people. I don't want to use the other word, but probably you get me. They didn't give any care about me, any help about me. So I had to figure out what I was gonna do. They offered me a hotel to stay because things happen. But I need to go to the other flight because I need to go to States. I gotta enter the border in like 15 hours. Time's flowing. So in the local websites, I tried to find people who could drive me, and I found a German guy who was driving that city that I was going to. So I tried to talk to him with translate, and somehow it worked out. By the way, like, what if I was kidnapped? I just played the gamble, young and dumb. So I went to Munich, thankfully, and everything was working out. He was a good guy. He didn't kidnap me. Even he gave me like some money. I really appreciate that, man. Anyways, so I went to airport, and another issue happened. I couldn't see my flight on the boards, like these huge boards, and like flights are listed. I didn't see my flight, and I was trying to talk to like airport staff, like, can you help me? This is my first flight ever. I am freaking out. I was trying to explain the thing. I don't know if it is a racism thing or is something, or they are just mean or something. They did nothing. Like, they just ignored me. I was so furious. I was so stressful. I just started to yell at people like, that's ridiculous. And by the way, I was reading everything from the phone. Like, anyways. And so I yelled a lot, and probably they were bothered with that. Supervisor came to me, and I explained everything, and he was kind of like, okay, like, you're right. And he helped me to get my flight, and I get my flight like with a tiny bit of time because I was going to be late. No one helped me, but thankfully it worked out again. And I fly to States. Probably, yeah, I slept like in the flight. It was like 8 hours flight, and I slept because I was so tired. I was so exhausted, sorry. And we take over the States. I was in the border. I waited like 3 hours in the border in Houston, just to get into border, and time was flowing. I had like, how many hours? I believe like 2 or 3 hours, like, me to get into the States, and I was in the line, like, another issue, and I talked to security. Thankfully, they were not like Germans. They helped me, and they get me into in front of the line. And the officer said me like, if you were late an hour, I was not going to get you in. But thankfully I was, and I entered the States border. I was so relaxing. I called my mom, my father, like I said, I did it. I did it. Like the best moment of my life. Like I achieved, like I couldn't achieve something better, this crazy German trip or whatever. By the way, I didn't mention those things to my family, especially my mother at the time, because probably she was going to freak out. Anywho, I fly to Tennessee. Another interesting thing. So, if you don't know about exchange programs, you stay with an host family. And I even didn't know my host family's name, faces, because, no one knew nothing, just we were late. So I called them, and the only thing I was saying, hey, I am here. I translated, by the way. I don't know how to say it. And they were just standing next to me, and we didn't know each other. We just like look at each other like that, and we just laugh, like funny, awkward moment, I believe. And yeah, they picked me up and they gave me a Taco Bell because like it was too late, like it was like 3 in the morning. I really love them. I really appreciate them, what they did for me. They're in my heart. Anyways, I was in a stranger's bed, like thinking about how my life changed in 24 hours, like, okay, like long story in a short, I was in a cafe. I drive Istanbul. I went Germany. I discuss or fight like German stuffs over here. I came to the States. I fly like a lot of hours that I cannot remember. And yeah, just the only thing I was able to think about, like how drastically my life changed within 24 hours, like how rapidly, how fast it happened, and it could happen. I could never imagine it could happen that fast. But yeah, I hope you got to know me better with this story. And if you want to share any story, please let me know. I would like to hear from you. Bye bye.